with me.
Okay, and Jennifer, I see your comment. So you can still tell us about what you're planning on doing with your business and the direction you're sort of moving into and stuff like that. So it's totally cool. Abe, do you want to go first?
Yeah. I'm Abe, and I'm starting a company where I go online. It's a Shopify company, and it's going to be selling clothes. And I'm an artist and a graphic artist, so one of the things that I've been looking for is someone to manufacture just my artwork and stuff, and going from there. And it's been a heck of a ride so far. And I am I have left a couple of stages to do, on the back end of everything. Basically, register with the state and then get my business license, and then from there on, I hope to look to you guys for starting a campaign for getting traffic, getting engagements and stuff like that. So that's where I'm at right now. So it's pretty exciting. I did a food company. We sold street tacos right off of a cart, and that was pretty fun. And I enjoy serving people, and I enjoy getting people getting to know people and meeting people. But one of my really great things that I like doing is just designing. So that's where I'm at right now.
Cool. That is super cool. So like where do you feel like you are in the process in terms of like actually thinking about marketing this? Are you waiting until you get more things sort of set up in the store, or?
Yes. I One of the first things that I wish I would have did was set up a structure, like where's the money going to go, how are things going to get paid. That way I just put the money in my pocket and didn't think about the marketing, didn't think about what kind of practices and procedures that I'm going to have once I start making the money. And for me, that was the biggest deal. Like, the the office part of it, the administration part of it. I've been picking Daphne's brain for like the last couple of weeks, and we are. I'm excited on my end, and I think that's where I'm at as far as getting that administration part of it down. What's going to happen with the money, with the cash flow? How much are we going to put towards new projects coming out, as and so on, and just getting engagement. But for right now, I just got into my designing because I wanted to think about what we're going to do as far as making it a good foundation to start off on.
Yeah, so I've known Abe for Abe. And in fact, he went to school with Ben like way back in the day in this little country school, right? That's where they met. And then coincidentally, Abe and I are cousins, and we didn't realize we were cousins until we were both in our 20s. So I've known Abe forever. But Abe is like, he's a Renaissance man. I call him a Renaissance man because he's really great at a lot of things. He loves that.
I try not. Yeah.
He's great at a lot of things. He's an artist, number one. So like he can pick up any instrument and play you notes, even if he's never seen it before. It's not fair. Also, he sings. So he had a band in his 20s, and he opened for a lot of like big Christian music names and stuff like that. Jeremy Camp, was it the Newsboys, different ones. So he was able to. Yeah, Mercy Me. Yeah, he was able to open for all those. He's super talented. But what he enjoys the most right now is graphics design. And he likes to he's always wanted a clothing brand ever since I've known him. And because am I frozen?
Yeah, you froze.
Yeah.
Oh, my computer. I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi. But anyways, so he's always wanted a clothing brand. And so right now he's designing his clothing products and everything like that. Where he struggles is, like he said, the business stuff. And so he, like, his mind automatically thinks like art and creativity and focusing on that aspect of the business, but like, and he realizes he has something pretty special, but then like when it comes to like rubber meets the road, he's like, I don't know how to implement this stuff like in a business fashion. So so we've been working with that. Yeah.
Yeah. It takes a lot of it takes a lot of, especially with single business owners and someone in my situation, it takes a lot of like, okay, I don't know this and I need someone's help, so I'm gonna allow myself to bow down to someone saying you have to do it like this. So that's my it's you can't be like, well, no, I think I should do it. Anyways, yeah, that's a definite thing.
I think we all
You
struggle
have
with
to
that, Abe.
Yeah, to
I
some
think we
degree.
all do. Yeah, definitely. Because I know I have pigeonholed myself by doing that. I could have, I mean, let's be real here. Daphne and I, because we think we know everything sometimes, it took us 2 years to get this thing live. Like if we had been maybe more willing to listen or watch what other people are doing that was outside our comfort zone, I think we would have been launching this a while ago.
Oh yeah, yeah. And we've grown by leaps and bounds just within the last, 6 months or almost a year that we've really been diligently working on this. But we're in a completely different spot, like mindset wise, than we were, a year ago. And it just takes like you said, realizing that somebody else can help you along the way. They've walked this road, they've done it. And there's no reason to like reinvent the wheel. And me and Maggie say that all the time, like, let's not reinvent the wheel, so
Exactly.
because you don't need to like, you don't need to try to create this whole other process to make it work for yourself. Do what somebody's doing, right? That's successful and that, has gone before you in the area that you're looking to succeed in, and pattern after that. That's not cheating. That's not, skipping the line or anything like that. That's literally like emulating what somebody else has done and going, saying, you know what, I'm going to take those same steps and follow that same process, with my product or with my business or with my services, and to get that success and get the results. And usually that's where people tend to start thriving, is when they start following a process or, steps like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Michael.
Hey there. How are you?
Good.
Hey, Mike, guess who's on here? Look at the faces. Jen's on here.
Who?
Jen Stanley.
Oh, hey, Jan.
She can't talk because she's at work, but she's just listening today.
All right. Yeah, I was coming back from a meeting.
Got your hairs cut.
Oh, you noticed that, huh? Yeah,
Yep.
I did. I did. Yeah, thank you. So sorry, what is the topic of the day?
So this is about you. The networking Zoom that we host inside of this group every week is about, you guys and, talking about your business, where you're at with your business, what you do, the services and products that you offer, and any struggles that you're having, in your business, or, any wins that you have in your business, like I just landed a client, whatever. So we want to hear all that stuff. And it's a way for everybody to sort of network with each other and get that kind of BNI type feel going on, but like on a Zoom.
Yeah, this is like our weekly Narcissists Unite meeting. You
Okay,
get to
so
talk all about yourself. Me.
Is this a standard Thursday 11? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Every week at 11 Pacific Standard Time, 2 Central Standard Time.
All right.
When
Excuse me for not.
It's just like confusing people by putting all different times on things, because it's all about us. This meeting's about us.
All right.
Narcissism. Yeah. No, we're just
I-
sharing. Abe was sharing about his it's online, right, Abe? It's only online. Yeah. Okay.
You're muted, Abe, so we can't hear you.
It's an online.
Literally, I literally just muted myself in case that would help with the broadband or the bandwidth of whatever we needed. Yeah, e-commerce online. Yep.
And you don't have, so your website, you haven't launched your store yet in Shopify because you
Right.
don't have your reseller certificate just yet from the state. So yeah, you
Correct.
got to wait on that. And then have you created like any social media channels like specifically for this brand and business?
Okay, you could direct me here. I feel like once I have I like in my head, like once I have like the resale stuff, then I want to start on the campaigning stuff. As far as making a social media for it.
Okay.
It really, it really took me I want to start it, but then it just took me this long to decide how I want to do things. And if I kept restructuring, to me, if I kept restructuring the social media stuff, it would have just been like the people would, I don't know, I feel like the people would have been like, what is it, what's happening? So
Okay. So my advice on that would be, number one, do your GMB, your Google My Business for the store. Okay. So do that. So you'll register your business listing with Google, and Maggie and I taught on that last week. And then you have access to some modules there. But then number two is go ahead and set up all of your social media accounts for the store. So what is the name of the store? Store 45 or Shop 45?
it right now it's Shop Store 45, and I might just make it a shoe place, like a shoe store, because I like into shoes more than I'm liking anything else. But I think Shop 45 is gonna be like the umbrella
Okay,
of it.
so just start making your social media channels, like your Facebook page, Shop 45, your Instagram, Shop 45, your, LinkedIn business, Shop 45, you can even make a Pinterest account, Shop 45, a YouTube channel, Shop. You don't have to put anything on there just yet, but setting up all of those channels is going to take a while. It's going to take a little bit. You can probably do all of it in one day, but I mean, it'll like, you have to like set it up, verify it and connect, all that kind of stuff. So anyways, and then you create, which I know that you will create the banners and your profile pictures for each account and sort of make them like unified, you know what I mean? And you know that.
Yeah.
You're a graphics guy, but
well, I didn't even want to think about that until like I had like I was saying, I didn't want
yeah,
to think
it's
about
just
that
that
until
once you launch the store and you're like, okay, I'm ready to go, and you hit the go button, and then you're like crickets because you don't have any channels to put that on, right, and stuff. So go ahead and set up all of that beforehand, because it'll take you a little bit, and you can get your reseller certificate in the meantime. And then once you hit the go button, you've got tons of places to go ahead and put all your products and do all of your campaigning stuff. But nobody's going to click on a random link because you made an account. Like, I wish it happened that way, but it doesn't happen that way.
I get that. Makes so much sense.
Like we always say, there's that saying, right? Me and Maggie talked about this the other day, but there's that saying, if you build it, they will come. That does not apply online. It doesn't apply for us.
Yeah.
It does not apply for a store. It doesn't apply for a business. It doesn't apply for any product that you launch. If you build it, they will come. That's false online.
Basically,
I mean, they will come once you have your Google My Business set up, you're verified, you've got everything, all of this stuff done.
You have to, yeah.
You have to create your footprint, but without a footprint and just a live website, dog. Stop. a live
Yes, I would.
website, it's not, you're not going to get any traffic because the web's just too
Right.
big, like people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not going to get some random person being like, I really want to buy this right now and I can't. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
So
Like,
can I ask a
Like
question?
they'll click in.
Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
I wanted to ask, so a lot of us might be in the same boat where we have a primary business like Birdie SEO or whatever, and then you're, or a primary entity, right? And then you're launching a business like you girls are, or let's say I am with career coaching or something. And you just said you want all of your social media things to promote your business,
Mhm.
your name. But for those who are still have another, so does that mean you're no longer promoting your own business on those platforms?
So that's a really good question. So I think it has two answers. When you're talking about a platform like LinkedIn, they sort of automatically sort which is your current business, right? Like that's sort of what shows up in your header there. And so you're going to have to actually make a decision on there. But when you're setting up all these other entities on different platforms, like you can set up the company page for your new business on LinkedIn. You can get that ready to go. You can set up your Facebook pages or groups, whatever you're going to do. If it's probably pages for your business where you set it up, you can still post to it, but maybe you're not replacing information that's on your main profiles, you're adding to it. So
Mhm.
they're both live at the same time. Because like Daphne and I have multiple businesses. So I was actually just speaking to somebody 2 weeks ago. I was on a call because you may not believe this, but we also are part of paid groups where we, get advice. And part of this other group I'm part of, she was walking me through the branding aspect, how to decide on my profiles, what I put where. And she made a really interesting point to me that I hadn't thought of before. She's like, when I go to your page, I see fun. Like your banner on your top is fun. You've got your profile picture, it's fun, but neither one of them, and there's no mention of this new business. How are people who are in your group going to, sort of associate you with this new business? And I thought about it and I kind of poo-pooed it. I was like, whatever. But then yesterday, Daphne and I were on a quest to figure out who owned a certain entity, like a sort of this course that she and I had purchased on behalf of us that gave us some templates for things that we were looking to kind of save time on, and we couldn't find it. And I found that frustrating because I was like, I couldn't put a face with the name of the company. And it occurred to me last night when I was semi-conscious, falling asleep, I need to update my Facebook profile. Like it has to reflect MarketU.me. So it's sort of like, are you ready to take that step yet? But there's a lot, like Daphne was saying, there's a lot of foundational work that needs to happen before you even can use some of these platforms. And so while you're in this limbo phase where you sort of have a foot on both sides of the fence, you actually can have the better of both worlds because you can set up your new business entities and have them ready to go and even start posting to them before you connect them to your personal profile directly. So just keep that in mind. I don't know. Did you want to add something to that, Daphne?
Yeah, Maggie and I both have our individual agencies, plus we collaborated. So MarketU, this company is a collaboration. And it has a different purpose and functions, way differently than our individual agencies. However, I'll post, our MarketU stuff onto my agency pages or Google listings, or even my personal Facebook stuff or LinkedIn stuff, because that's who I am. That represents me. So like if you have an existing business right now, and then you're, Michael Hernandez, but then you're going to start career coaching, I think that all goes together. You know what I mean? Like it's who you are, you're a career coach, but you also, function and operate as a copywriter, right? So those things are not, different. It would be different if you were like gonna have like a football career and then you're like, oh, I was a copywriter, now I'm a football star, right? So those are different. You might want to promote those a little differently, but because you're sort of staying, in, the same vein of your business, I don't think it matters. I think that's just a reflection of who you are. And the thing is, like with social media, it's more about you like you and your influence than it is about like the businesses, the way that we used to think of business. Like we used to think of business like a brick and mortar, and then they'd have a sign and they're like, okay, this is a hardware store and it's a hardware store only. But now that because of with the, the introduction of social media in the last, 10, 15 years, or even I think it's 20 years if you count MySpace. But anyways, with all of that, people are looked at more as individuals and then said, okay, this is what I do. I do this, and I offer this, and I run this business and this company and this, and it's more about like, it created this whole other like form of social networking that we didn't really have before. Businesses would have BNIs that were like, this is a hardware store, this is a construction owner, this one, is an accountant, this is a real estate agent, and so they would operate like that. And now it's like, it's a little bit different where you have somebody like you in your profession that is able to, sort of talk about different, interests and different businesses that you're running, and so like I said, Maggie and I do the same thing in our business where we're able to, post about MarketU and what we're doing inside of MarketU on our personal Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram pages, and also our existing business pages. I know that like our MarketU post will go to her Birdie SEO GMB listing, and they'll go to my Cowboys Consulting GMB listing. And that's because that's the business that we're talking about. We want people to recognize as well. It's not saying that we can't garner new clients for our agencies, but the business we want people to know about is that we are coaches and consultants in this arena of marketing, right? So it's all cohesive. It like all kind of goes together. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think you can do both.
So the answer is, it's really up to you what you do.
Well, what's really kind of factually, and you know what, I have to tell you, these discussions are really helpful because I can have these discussions with nobody else. So thank you all for this.
Good, glad.
This no, it really is very kind of eye-opening. Now, let me add something to you. I know when we had a discussion last week, I think, and I was sharing, career coaching, but then there was also the possibility of coaching writing. Remember, and I asked that, and I posed that question, and it was funny. Maggie knows my wife, Karen. I said, and usually Karen doesn't engage with me on some of these questions. So I said, I said, let me career coaching, but I could also do this, teaching copywriting. She goes, oh no, career coaching. Boom, done. It was just that fast. So I thought, okay, there's the answer. It's nice and clear. But I haven't been promoting my copywriting at all, really, not actively, to get new clients. Do Daphne and Maggie both, do you seek out, or have you been seeking out, because you've been so busy with this a few years, clients of your own, or have you just thought for your Birdie SEO service, or have you thought, I just hope they find me, up until now?
This is different, I guess, for both of us, right, Maggie? So primarily I would find, and I've worked with local small businesses. So of course, now I'm in Tennessee, but when I was in Texas, I started with my network of people there when I started doing this about 6 years ago. So I started building websites for local businesses, and then it sort of branched out where I would get referrals, and then I would do the same thing for them, and then run an SEO campaign for them and get them ranked fairly quickly. And then I would get, so my business sort of grew that way. And I had the online stuff so that other people would see what I was doing. And then I've been referred by people now that know me as a web designer or an SEO specialist. They'll like tag me in a post or something like that because they know that I do that. So that's where my business would come from primarily. Now I have like done Thumbtack on occasion, and I know like Maggie, she reaches her clients, she obtains new clients in a different way. But like as far as like this season that we're in with our MarketU stuff, this is like 100% of what we're doing only right now. So we have existing clients that we still maintain and take care of, but primarily like 100% of our time and attention is devoted to growing MarketU and all of the back end stuff, because we're still like, it's just a team. We're just a team. So we do everything. We build all the websites, we build all the funnels, we write all of the content, we write all of the ads, we grow the group, we talk to everybody on private messenger. We're the ones like communicating with everybody, like, in a CRM, and, so we have to build all that. All of it is just me and her. So eventually we'll get to a place where we're hiring, people to sort of take over some of those, tasks. But yeah, this is the main focus for me right now.
No, and that makes sense. And for me, I realize that a lot of this is, I can sit on the fence for so long, but now things are becoming clear. No, my interest hasn't been in finding more copywriting clients. It just really hasn't been. So why should I worry that I'm not going to be promoting my copywriting services?
Right. Yeah.
On that, when I'm trying really ultimately to get away from that. And if I wanted to, I could probably still network and find other business.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's kind of similar to, in a little microcosm, to a LinkedIn profile. I was just talking to somebody. In fact, that's where I was. I was doing career coaching with someone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, from 10 to in RSM, and I was thinking, when you put yourself up on LinkedIn, like Justin's working at a Best Buy right now, but that's not his LinkedIn profile. He wants to sell himself as a photographer and a editing guy and a this and a that. And that's who he's saying, this is who I am, and that's really kind of where I need to be now. You are right there. I can easily incorporate writing and what I do into career coaching. And in fact, I had this tagline that says, because I like promoting people more than products. And I'm a writer, so it actually is a very easy transition.
And I think a lot of what I know I struggled with, and probably some of you, or maybe all of you as well, is taking those first steps. That's kind of the scariest part. Like, we tend to say, I want this to be perfect before I do this. A needs to be finished before I do B. I'm not going to talk about C until I did the intro before A. And that actually has the opposite effect. Not only are you not doing anything and you're spending all your energy on thinking about it, but you're losing time. Like, you're losing this valuable time, and time is the one thing you can't get back. And so at some point, and Daphne, you'll hear Daphne and I say this: imperfect action is better than no action at all. Take those imperfect actions, as painful as it is for me to say, to do that. It's really been my biggest regret in terms of the delay in timing of committing to something, and then just doing it. The disconnect there you could go broke, right? Like, at some point you need to take steps forward, even if they're baby steps. And then those baby steps become big boy steps, and those big boy steps become leaps, and you can't get to the leap all at once. And so, I found that when I stayed stuck in that mindset of everything needed to be perfect, nothing got done. Like, I made no progress at all. And I am a perfectionist. Like, I don't like putting things out there that aren't perfect. It actually like hurts me. Like, physically, I'm like, I'll get like all worked up about it, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I made that mistake. The problem is, I'm the only one that's that hard on myself. Nobody else out there sees it like that, but they do see if I don't take action, because I won't be in front of them. So I think that's one of the hardest, like, that was one of the biggest things that I struggled with, both with Birdie SEO, with another business, with this one, is that idea that I had to get everything done and ready before I promoted it. And it doesn't work like that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I mean, you have your answer helping me answer these big questions. So I appreciate that.
Jen said that she has analysis paralysis, and I think we can all relate to that on some degree, because when you're good at something, right, and you feel like you can make a business out of it, you tend to overanalyze it in a way that nobody else really does, and even maybe the market doesn't even, consider. And so I know that I've been that way with my business as well, like Maggie, where we've had that analysis paralysis. And then it's not that we're just analyzing it, it's that we're being diligent and working on it, but we're working on it to the point that like we're not launching, we're not getting things completed, we're not finishing anything because this thing that we're creating is still not perfect, right? And what we've learned, especially in the last 6 months, I know for me and Maggie, is like, just go. And so that's been like a thing that I actually wrote down on my desk, and me and Maggie say it all the time, but when we get stuck with something and I'm like, okay, done is better than perfect. Let's just wrap this up and move on. And then we've checked off something off our list and we do move on, and things are gradually like getting completed, right? And you can always go back and like modify things or fix things or change things, or I don't like the intro that I said there, I'm going to go back to, that's fine. But when you overanalyze it and then you don't hit the publish button because you're afraid of what it sounds like, and you're like, nah, this isn't really the message I want to get, then you don't do anything, And so, yeah, totally. That's like our motto, I think, with all of this for the last few months is done is better than perfect. Just go, just do it, even with aid, just start creating those social media channels, start, putting that out there. Don't wait to get the business license that says you have the right to do that. Go ahead and start doing it, because you're going to get the license, and then you're going to be like 5 steps behind because you didn't do all these other things in front of it, so just go, just do it. Maggie and I have done the same thing. We've built funnels and then we've like backtracked and we're like, that funnel sucks. And then we come back and we'll modify it or change it or scrap it and redo it. But at least we got something up and we realized that worked, that didn't work. We've even done that with ads. We've run ads, and then we're convinced in our minds this is what speaks to people, and the copy was great, and the ad creatives were great, and then they didn't perform well. And then we come back to the drawing table and we change out, like we go with something we would totally never think of maybe, and that would be more like attention grabbing, and those perform better than what we were. But we had to try it first. We couldn't like wait to like launch the perfect ad. We couldn't wait to launch the perfect I think we have like one logo for our MarketU, but we've created several headers and profile pictures because we're like, this one's harder to look at. And, you're going to keep doing that. And that's okay, because that's how a business grows. And if you look at so again, you're overanalyzing like what you have going on with yourself. But then when you look at other people, like if you go to somebody else's business page, right? You're not going to go there like, how many times did they change this header? Let me go count. Let me count the ways, right? You don't go to like their profile picture, like, well, you might look at their profile pictures, but you don't like go to like, oh, they changed it here. Oh, they've had 5 different profile pictures for that company. Shame. You don't do that, right? You don't do that to other people, but then you think that when you launch it, it has to be like the deal ever, right? Like it has to be perfect, and it's not. You're just going to go with it. So that goes for your copy, that goes for your creatives, when you set up these different entities. It goes for your site. I don't know how many times I've changed my personal site, my husband's site. Maggie's probably changed her Birdie SEO site a few times over the years. You're gonna find out what works and what doesn't work, what you like, what you don't like, but you just need to go. That's not going to stop you from making money. You can make money all along the way. You don't have to like have a perfect presentation in order for somebody to pay you, for your product or your service. So that's the thing.
Jen said in the comments, I have analysis paralysis.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I can relate to that. And we've learned to just go.
Yeah, I tell this story every once in a while. My buddy and I, Steve, and Maggie knows Steve. We had this idea for, I don't know, a business or something. And we talked about it and analyzed it and talked it over and over and said, okay, here's what we're going to do. And then a year went by and we hadn't done anything. And I remember I said, you know what, let's take a step back. We had a test program and we learned something valuable. That is, what happens if you have an idea for a program and you don't do anything for a year? We found out nothing happens. It was almost, it was true. Like, that's what we learned. If you have an
Yeah.
idea and do nothing in 1 year and a whole year past, nothing else.
And isn't
Still
it
right where you
frustrating?
started.
Yeah.
Isn't it frustrating though when you see, say you see someone that, and I'm not mean, I'm trying not to be mean. I am mean, but I try not to be mean, right? But you see someone and you're thinking they are dumb as a box of rocks. And then they're super successful, right? And you're like, how did that happen? And really, if you look at it, it's just because they moved, because they went with what they had. They didn't overthink it. They just flew by the seat of their pants. And I'm not saying everybody that does that is super successful, but sometimes it makes me wonder when I look at other people and I'm like, really? You know?
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes I feel like the smartest people are the poorest people. You know, like, because we do spend so much time overthinking everything, we don't take any action at all.
Yeah.
So, you know, we get to the end of our lives and we're like, yeah, I had all these great plans. Like, in my head, I wrote this book and I created a cure for something, but none of it got done because I was too stuck in my own little perfection world. Yeah.
And I think Abe, I mean, I'm not trying to talk for you, Abe, but I think you can relate because you've been through several businesses where, you know, you had that analysis paralysis, or it wasn't like what you exactly wanted. You know, y'all had the stuffed animal business where you guys were, you know, his wife crochets and makes her own. She makes awesome, cool products, actually. They did that. And then they did, so he had a taco truck business where it was called What the Fajita, which is really cool because his initials were WTF. And it was What the Fajita, and it was super popular. But you know, like you get in that mode of thinking that something has to be perfect in order for you to make money, you know, and it's not true.
Jen says, I want to go there.
You got to unmute yourself, Abe.
I did it again. Yeah. That paralysis, like what that I wanted the business to grow more, but I didn't have the capital to do it. And I feel like that was the biggest deal. Like just overthinking about it, even while I'm doing it, you know, trying to make the moves. I can attest that one of the guys that I work with, I also do photography for this company that does like add-ons, you know, to the houses and stuff like that. And their company looks like cats in a bag, the way they roam. Like this guy wants to quit every single day, but like he's so wealthy. He's so wealthy. And I'm not sure what it is, but what it is, how his mental health is. I feel like mine is better, but in the bank account, his is better. But it's like, it's because he does it. It's because he does it.
Yeah, he just takes action. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me one more.
True.
It's true.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So, no, this has been a great discussion. I love that. I love being able to talk and network with everybody about like what their struggles are in their business, in addition to like, you know, your wins in the business and like the directions you guys want to go in, you know, for different things and stuff like that. I love that. You know, Maggie, we're not any different than you. We're just, you know, we have a different specialty, right? So like we know about marketing and SEO and web development and social media and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. But we're still business owners just like you. And so we, you know, really want to be able to help in any way that we can, right? And share our struggles. We've been in business for a long time. We have a lot of different experiences and stuff. And you guys sometimes say things that are like, oh, wow, that really made a lot of sense to us, you know? So I love that we're, you know, creating this environment for our, you know, our small business marketing solutions group, because this is just for you guys. This is exclusive for you.
Yep. Narcissist hour.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna call it that now.
It's just so funny because, you know, you don't usually, Daphne and I have been part of a lot of groups that are for entrepreneurs and small business owners, but it's always usually about the presenter. you know, the presenter has ideas, like Daphne and I would have ideas, and we're going to come and tell you, you know, our ideas and how to fit those into your business. But we have both found that it ends up making you feel a little bit left out, because if you're not at that part in your business where you can implement any of these things, it's not even like you have anything to contribute to the conversation. And then for me, it becomes more of like a wall I have to climb. Then I'm like, oh, great, I got to get on this meeting where I don't have anything to contribute because I'm not even anywhere near these people. And it ends up making me feel really crappy, you know, about where I am with certain things. And Daphne and I we're just passionate about this, and we don't want this group to ever feel that way.
No, and we don't want to, we want to be inclusive in the matter that like everybody matters. Everybody, you know, is invited. Everybody, everybody's business is important, you know, and that's why we, you know, kind of give you guys the floor during this hour so that you know, you're able to talk about talk about your business, talk about what you're struggling with and things like that. Because, you know, this is not a popularity contest, and we've been in part of other groups where it's like whoever's doing the best, and then you've got like a handful of people that are like rocking it, right, and everybody else is like lost, you know. So we don't want that here.
No.
Right.
Well, we've run our hour for this week, and we'll just jump in next week, same place, same time. Hope you can all make it back. If you have something you feel like we should know before this, message us directly, or be like, hey, I just wanted to let people know my business just did XYZ. If you can't be here, just send us a message, and we'll make sure to just sort of make that announcement on your behalf. We would love for you to be here though.
Yeah. So thanks.
That's it. You guys have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.